Bears fans, news continues to fly in, which is why we have another video coming up here on Chicago Bears Now. And this is why you should subscribe to the channel, because we're bringing you multiple videos per day at this point. The latest Bears news, rumors, injury updates, everything else going on with this team, roster moves, more to break down here on this show. Help us reach 51,000 subs. We're less than 300 away, 283 to be exact. All you got to do, hit that big red subscribe button. It's free. With that being said, let's jump into the show. You're watching Bears Now by Chat Sports. I'm Harrison Graham. Loaded show coming up for you guys early on this evening. The practice squad is mostly filled. 14 players have been signed to the Bears practice squad. We'll break that down coming up here in a few minutes. But first, I do want to address the roster cuts that dropped after the claims from earlier, which we were live for, breaking that down, the 6 roster claims. We'll remind you of those guys in a second, but these were the moves to make room for those 6 players. Zach Thomas, rookie offensive lineman, cut. I do think he's a practice squad candidate. Khyiris Tonga, last year's draft pick in the 7th round, cut. Caleb Johnson, UDFA linebacker from last year, he gets cut. Joe Thomas, the vet linebacker, he's also gone. Duke Shelley, a longtime Ryan Pace guy, he also gets cut as well. And then I think the biggest surprise, Tajae Sharpe goes to injured reserve, and we're initially thinking, okay, so he'll miss the first 4 weeks, then return. That's not the case. This was clarified by Kevin Fishbane, Brad Biggs, and others who cover the team closely. Tajae Sharpe not eligible to return from injured reserve this season because he was placed on IR prior to 3 p.m. So we were all debating on Twitter, wait, why did they put Tajae Sharpe instead of N'Keal Harry on IR? Well, they actually had to wait until 3 o'clock to place players on short-term IR. So as soon as the Bears claimed 6 players, they had to either cut or put players on IR before 3 o'clock. So you couldn't short-term IR someone to make room for those players, if that makes sense. So Sharpe's season is over, at least with the Bears. Maybe he agrees to an injury settlement, but he will not play for this team this year unless they buy him out injured-wise, and then I think he has to stay a free agent 3 weeks, and then they could bring him back, but that seems very unlikely. So the waiver claims from earlier, in case you guys missed it, Alex Leatherwood, obviously the notable one. We broke that down in detail earlier. There's a video. Go check it out. Armon Watts, the defensive tackle, I think he'll have a big role. Josh Blackwell, the corner out of Duke. We'll see what he brings to the table. Kingsley Jonathan as well. Sterling Weatherford, college teammates with Dominique Robinson out of Miami of Ohio. And then Trevon Wesco as well, the tight end. I think he'll be mostly a blocking tight end for the Bears after they cut James O'Shaughnessy. Matt Eberflus said after practice that these are pieces that can help us. That is why we put claims out for them. So 6 new additions. I mentioned the cuts, Sharpe to IR. That is how you add it all up to get to 53. And as of now, N'Keal Harry has not been placed on short-term IR, so maybe he's progressing quickly, or maybe he could still go to short-term IR in the next couple of days. We'll have to wait and see. Are you excited about Alex Leatherwood? I'm going to make this the pinned comment on today's video. Type Y for yes, type in for no. Are you excited about Alex Leatherwood, the first-round pick from last year? Let me know down in the comments section. I'll be curious to see how this Bears regime views him, because obviously he's played mostly right tackle in his career up to this point, but Matt Eberflus did not comment if they think he's a tackle or a guard. He did comment saying we like him as a run blocker. That's where he graded better as, according to PFF last year. But for now, I've got him as the backup right tackle. I wonder, though, if they'll work him more at guard, especially after they cut Zach Thomas earlier today to make room for Alex Leatherwood. It's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. I don't believe he'll be a starter right away. We'll just have to wait and see if he could raise to that level this season. I personally believe he should play at guard. I don't think his arms are long enough. I don't think he's quick enough to be an elite tackle in the NFL. I think he could be a serviceable guard in this league. Hell, look at Tevin Jenkins. In 2 weeks, he has gone from someone who not looked lost but didn't look like a starting caliber tackle to he's going to start at right guard for this team, it looks like. Could Alex Leatherwood take a similar path, get more reps at guard and improve at that position and be a starter down the road? Who knows? Maybe he's your Cody Whitehair replacement long term if they want to save some money by cutting him after this upcoming season. We'll wait and see what they do with Alex Leatherwood, but Eberflus did not comment on where they view him positionally, at least right now. Shout out to BetUS for being our sportsbook partner for another football season here, and I've already placed some bets for week 1 because I feel really good about the Bears covering against the 49ers. Get an account set up today at chatsports.com/Bears. Promo code is BEARDOWN. Put down $100. You get $125 for free. They'll match you up to $500, which would get you a $600 deposit bonus. Week 1 odds, I continue to be amazed that the Niners are 7.5-point favorites at Soldier Field. I know it's just preseason, but I think the Bears look like a team that are going to be scrappy and competitive every week. I don't see the Niners coming in to town and blowing the doors off Chicago. I think at worst, the Bears are going to be able to keep it close. Chatsports.com/Bears, promo code BEARDOWN. If you feel good about this game or want to go bet on some divisional or Super Bowl odds, go do it with BetUS. All right, let's get to the practice squad, at least what it is up to this point in time. 14 players have been signed by the Bears so far, and here they are. Chase Allen returning to the practice squad as a tight end. Trevon Coley, the defensive tackle. I like him. I wonder if he could get elevated at some point. Isaiah Coulter, who had a good preseason and training camp period at wide receiver. Micah Dew-Treadway, another defensive tackle. They have the UDFA out of Minnesota. Dieter Eiselen returns as a center. Darrynton Evans, the running back. I thought he could make the 53. He did not, but he is on the practice squad. DeMarquis Gates, the USFL star who signed as a linebacker. He is also brought back here. Thomas Graham Jr., we'll keep an eye on him. He returns to the practice squad. Davontae Harris, the veteran defensive back who signed midway through camp. And then edge rusher Sam Kamara. Also, Nathan Peterman will be the practice squad quarterback. Lachavious Simmons sticks around, a former Ryan Pace draft pick. Isaiah Thomas, who I actually thought flashed his in camp and in the preseason as a safety. And then Nsimba Webster, who's got really good special teams value, can also give you a little bit at receiver as well. There were also reports of Kellen Diesch signing with the Bears practice squad, but the Bears website did not mention him on their press release. So I'm not sure what the situation is there. So we'll keep an eye on that. I hope that's the case. I liked him coming out. I thought he was a draftable player. He went undrafted. If the Bears pick him up, I think he's an offensive lineman worth developing in the NFL. We'll have to wait and see if he's a part of this thing or not. Who is your favorite player on the Bears practice squad right now? I want to hear it from you guys in the comments. Shout him out, your favorite player on the practice squad. And if you're forgetting, here are the names again, just kind of putting them on screen for you guys. Obviously, going to keep an eye on Thomas Graham. I like Micah Dew-Treadway. Those are a couple players. I have a soft spot for DeMarquis Gates, who's had quite the journey in the NFL, playing in a bunch of spring leagues, bouncing from practice squad. So hopefully he gets a chance at some point. For the memes, Nathan Peterman, of course. Only one guy could throw 5 picks in one half and 5 years later still be in the NFL. It's Nathan Peterman. But if you have a favorite player on the Bears practice squad, go ahead and comment his name down below. I obviously have hope for Thomas Graham still. I still think he can be on the 53 and be a productive player in the secondary, but the reason he was cut is he missed all of training camp in the preseason with an injury. In minicamp, he was getting starting reps in nickel. Then he gets hurt with a hammy and has not been seen in a month. So we'll see what his future looks like, but for now, he is on the practice squad. All right, practice updates from today. Jaquan Brisker back at practice. That's good to see. Velus Jones Jr., Byron Pringle remain out. Let's talk about Brisker first, then I'll kind of explore with receiver in a second. Good to see Brisker back. That's number one. Brisker also commented after the game. He said by week 1 he'll be 120%, which I always find those quotes a bit cheesy. You can't be more than 100%. That's just math. But I get his point. He's going to be ready. He's going to play week 1. I think that's very, very clear. As far as the receivers go, with Pringle and Velus Jones out, with Tajae Sharpe on season-ending IR, Jones and Pringle out, and N'Keal Harry, whether he goes to short-term IR or not, he is not going to play in the opener. That leaves you with healthy receivers right now. Darnell Mooney, Equanimous St. Brown, Daz Newsome. That's it. You're going to have to sign a receiver, I think. You're going to have to bring someone in. Sure, you can get through these practices right now. You've got Isaiah Coulter, Nsimba Webster, but you only have 5 on the 53 if N'Keal Harry goes to short-term IR. Kind of have a feeling that a receiver could be coming to Hallis Hall very, very soon, especially if Harry does go to IR. Should the Bears sign another receiver? What do you think? Type S for sign, type P for pass. We might do a free agent targets video tomorrow, and if we do, we'll certainly explore some receivers. I think they got to bring in somebody because you're getting pretty thin at that position. One final injury update, and then we will sign off here on Bears Now. Courtney Cronin tweeting this out. Eberflus was asked, could Lucas Patrick, the center who had thumb surgery about a month ago, come back next week and be ready for week 1? Next week, of course, the week of practice leading up to the opener. Eberflus said, quote, we're still looking at that. That's our anticipation that he's potentially able to do that, but we don't have the answer yet. We're pushing for that. We're hoping for that. We'll see how it goes. So 50-50, and that's kind of what we thought all along with Lucas Patrick. I feel okay about his chances returning. Again, I've said all along, I think at most he's going to miss 1 game in the regular season. Then he will return. Sam Mustipher's gotten some valuable reps. He can at least get you through the first game at a decent level, I think. So we'll see how the center position plays out over the next 10 days or so. All right, appreciate everybody for tuning in today. Hit that sub button, turn on the notification bells because news continues to fly in, and if more significant news drops, we will have you covered with a video. Until then, so long and bear down.